All right. Welcome, everybody, to our Tuesday night team call. We are super excited. Tonight's Testimonial Tuesday, as I like to call it. We just do about 10 minutes of product training. I pick a different product every month to kind of delve maybe a little bit deeper into than we might normally. And then we'll have 3 health testimonials and we'll wrap it up in 30 minutes. So let's get moving. So first of all, I'm super excited to talk about tonight's product because I feel like it's super underrated. I know for me, we're going to talk about ease. We're going to talk specifically about ease capsules, which is kind of our natural pain reliever, anti-inflammatory. And I know for me, I've been with Plexus for 4 years, and I tried it once right near the beginning just to say I had tried it. But luckily for me, I don't suffer from any kind of chronic pain or chronic inflammation. So I never really thought much of this product, never ordered it until I did some more research about 6 months ago. And I was so impressed with the product that I ordered it, and John and I have been taking it. So just a little bit about why I think this product is so powerful and why it's really needed. You know, here's one of the things about Plexus. I truly, truly believe that every single person needs Plexus. Not just would benefit from Plexus, but really needs Plexus. Maybe they don't all need the pink drink. Okay, I do believe that. Maybe not everybody needs Plexus Slim, but everybody needs at least one of our products, whether it's the multivitamin, the omegas. And Ease is one of those products that I know there are people who don't order any other product except our Ease line because it's been so powerful for them. NSAIDs, which would be things like ibuprofen, Tylenol, over-the-counter pain relievers. NSAIDs that are at an all-high usage right now. It's an over-the-counter medication, and so people feel like they can take it as much as they want and as often as they want. But the FDA has been coming out more and more vocally against people using those on an ongoing basis. They were never meant to be used for long-term use. They were meant to be used for very short acute pain, maybe post-surgery or post an injury, but not on a regular basis. In fact, just in August, the FDA came back out and said that and strengthened their warning that NSAIDs increase heart attack and stroke risk significantly, and that they are dangerous to our heart, kidneys, and bones. A lot of athletes were using NSAIDs regularly before working out to avoid sore muscles, but what they were finding is that it actually increased the risk of them breaking bones during training. So that is why Ease is such an amazing product, because there is a need to reduce chronic inflammation, and there's also a need for discomfort or pain relief. But this is a more natural product than those NSAIDs. It's not going to be hard on your heart, your kidneys, or your livers. We'll talk a little bit about the ingredients real quick, and then a little bit about how to take it in usage, okay? So this is a really simple product too, and I love that about Plexus. I love how their products don't have 50 million ingredients, so it's easy to understand. But the number one main ingredient in here, and Sue just brought this up, thank you, Sue, is the New Zealand green-lipped mussel, which is a shellfish. So that is one bummer. For some people with shellfish allergies, they should not take this, and that's something you should always ask people before recommending this product if they have a shellfish allergy. I will say, though, if they can't take Ease, they can take Nerve. And Nerve is another amazing anti-inflammatory. We can talk about that. Maybe I'll do that one next week since we did Ease this week. So they're not without options, right? Even if they can't use Ease. But it is the New Zealand green-lipped mussel. Researchers found that the indigenous people in New Zealand, even at very advanced ages, were doing extremely hard labor without any kind of pain, no arthritis. And so they started to research and found out that these green-lipped mussels were a huge part of their diet. Now, a lot of people have concerns about using any kind of seafood in supplements because our seas are so polluted nowadays, and there's a high level of toxicity in our fish and other marine sources. But I thought it was really interesting as I was doing research. The New Zealand green-lipped mussel, that area of the world has such stringent regulations that it's actually it's been rated the second cleanest seafood in the world. So if you're concerned about that, just know that this is a very, very clean product. One thing I will say, besides the shellfish allergies, because it has the shellfish, this is one of the only products we have that I don't think tastes good. It does have that fishy taste to it, and that seafood taste. If that bothers you, I learned this trick. It really does make a difference. Keep it in your freezer. If you keep it in your freezer, then when you pop it, it doesn't have that taste as it goes down. And then also you're going to want to take it with food. And I'll explain, partly that's because of the fish taste. If you take it with food, it's not so pronounced, but also I'll explain why in a minute. That's extra good to take it with food. Okay, so we got the New Zealand green-lipped mussel, and then we have a couple of enzymes. We got bromelain and serrapeptase, and then turmeric. And that's what's in this product. It's very, very simple, those 4 ingredients, but those ingredients are very powerful. So the New Zealand green lip mussel, besides being just an incredible anti-inflammatory, it has something in it called glucosamine. And glucosamine has been shown that its main job in the body is it helps to form connective tissues. And so I think this is really amazing that it's not only helping to reduce discomfort by reducing inflammation in the body, but actually by helping to support the body in rebuilding those connective tissues, which is so key to our health. It actually improves the integrity of epithelial cells. And let me see if there was something else on there. And because it helps to improve connective tissues. Think about this. With our gut health, we're working really hard to improve gut permeability, right? We want our intestines to heal and to not have those little holes and to not be leaking our waste into our body and making us toxic. Well, that glucosamine in there is going to support that soft tissue in the intestines being rebuilt and reformed. So it is a really amazing gut health product. I would never have thought of ease as supporting gut health, but it actually really does. Okay, so the second ingredients are the 2 enzymes, bromelain and serrapeptase. Bromelain comes from pineapples, but you would have to eat a lot of pineapples. And if you're like me, I can eat a few pieces, but after a while it's so acidic. I start to get like canker sores. It makes my mouth really raw. So I love that this is, again, a very natural product. It comes from pineapple. It is extremely anti-inflammatory. I'm just double checking my notes to make sure I don't forget anything. One cool thing about, again, why this is a gut health product, which I had not thought of it that way before, is those enzymes. A lot of us don't eat enough raw fruits and vegetables. And really, when we eat those raw fruits and vegetables with our meal, it aids in digestion because there are enzymes in there. The second you cook the fruit or veggie at all, or can it, store it, freeze it, any of those things, it kills all the enzymes. Or even if it's like overly ripe, the enzymes diminish once it gets overly ripe, or if it's underripe. So those enzymes are kind of tricky to get in. So when you take this with food, I mentioned earlier, take it with food not only for taste, it actually will aid in the digestion of your food and your body's ability to absorb the nutrients that you're eating. So again, helps support gut health in that way. A lot of people take bromelain and serrapeptase as digestive enzymes along with their food. So that's another thing that's so great about this product. It's not very expensive, and look at all the different things we're getting in it. How many people do you know who take turmeric? I mean, that is all over the news right now. Everybody's taking turmeric as a separate supplement. How many people do you know take digestive enzymes because they have a hard time digesting proteins and fats? You know, you're getting all of that in this one product. So New Zealand green lip mussel, bromelain and serrapeptase as enzymes. I failed to mention, bromelain is extremely anti-inflammatory, and there's actually a lot of studies that support bromelain helping with allergies and asthma. And I have to say, early on in Plexus, I was still having some hives. I have chronic hives, and we can't even really figure out any one thing that I'm allergic to. It probably has to do with a high state of inflammation in my body because I do have an autoimmune disease. So sometimes things that I'm not even allergic to will just cause me to break out in hives. And I used to have to go on prednisone, which is a really heavy steroid on a regular basis, which has horrible side effects, and I hated being on it. When I had my most recent outbreak of hives a couple of years ago, I used Ease instead, and this made a way bigger difference for me than prednisone. It was unreal. I couldn't believe how fast it stopped the itching and brought down that inflammation. So I really, really love this for allergies. I know Susan Stern used it when she was pregnant, and she had a head cold. And taking the Ease helped to relieve that sinus pressure. So it is really good for allergies and inflammation in general and asthma. The serrapeptase, one of the things that serrapeptase does is it helps to break down non-living tissue in our bodies. So a lot of surgeons are recommending serrapeptase post-surgery because it helps to break down things like blood clots, varicose veins. It also helps to reduce ear, nose, and throat infections because it actually reduces the viscosity of the mucus in the body. So it's pretty cool. It's a really cool ingredient. Okay, I'm talking way too much. Last one real quick, because it is amazing, is turmeric. Again, I'm sure you've seen this. If you're into health at all, you've probably seen Facebook ads pop up. You've probably gotten emails about it. It's all the rage. Turmeric is just a root. It comes from the ginger family. So again, very natural. It's one of the main spices in curry. It's literally been used for 2,500 years for medicinal purposes. It's just kind of regaining popularity lately. It has a peptide. One of the main reasons it's effective, it has a peptide called curcumin that makes something called CAMP. That's an acronym for a really long word you don't need to know. CAMP is the only known antimicrobial that naturally occurs in our body. So curcumin really helps to support our immune system. It targets bad pathogens in the digestive tract. So again, we're taking like chitosanase and these other enzymes in our ProBio5 to kill the bad bacteria in our gut. This is also going to help target bad pathogens, yeast, bacteria in our gut. So again, gut health. It also is a powerful antioxidant, just like bromelain, helps to neutralize those free radicals. It's very anti-inflammatory. It's really good for chronic inflammation, and it's not actually anti-inflammatory at a cellular level. And then there's a bunch of studies, surprisingly, that link turmeric with helping with depression and Alzheimer's. Those are newer studies, and they don't really know why it helps. That's just something that they've studied and found it helps with. There's also, because it always comes back to weight loss, right? With Plexus, I feel like that's the main reason a lot of people start. It's definitely one of our big draws with Plexus. There's also a huge connection between weight gain or weight loss and chronic inflammation. So I'm not going to go into the details because I want to leave time for our testimonials, but that's something that you might want to research on your own and Google. There have been people, especially in the last year, who have sworn by using loading doses of ease to lose weight, along with some of their other products. So very interesting. Good question. Mandy asked, aside from taking it with food, what's the best time of day to take it, or products it should or should not be taken with? This product can be taken with any of our other products. It doesn't need to be separated from any of our products. Best taken with food, mainly because you're going to get that extra digestive benefit with the enzymes helping to break down your food and to help disguise the taste. The main thing you should know is when you very first start ease, I'm just going to see if this was, no. When you very first start ease, they do recommend a loading dose, which would mean you would need more than one bottle your first month if you're going to really stick with that. It basically is 6 capsules a day initially. It's a lot. I did send out some messages trying to figure out exactly why we need that loading dose, and I didn't get answers in time. So when I find that out, I'm going to post it on the team page. But yeah, 6 capsules a day to start. So that would be, I would just say then with all your meals, take it with breakfast, lunch, and dinner to kind of split up. What was that?
How long?
I don't think there's a specific, I've seen various suggestions. I've heard anywhere from 2 weeks to a month for 6 capsules. And that's why I'm saying you would need 2 or 3 bottles if you were going to do a loading dose. And then it drops to 4 capsules a day. So then you would need 2 bottles, right? Because these are 60, yeah. 4 capsules a day for either 2 weeks or a month. Again, I've heard it either in like 2-week segments or 1-month segments. And then you would drop down to a maintenance dose of 1 to 3 per day. I wish I would have asked Kim Christensen to be on here, but I know she's actually been pretty sick recovering from a pretty bad injury. But we'll have to get her to get on sometime and share, because she tried to start this without the loading dose and really did not feel a difference. She was using it mainly for diabetic neuropathy. And once she did the loading dose, then she was able to back down to just a maintenance dose of between 1 and 2 a day and has had phenomenal results from it. So I have heard that repeatedly, that especially for people who do have really chronic inflammation or chronic pain, that they're going to need that loading dose initially to get started. So do keep that in mind. All right, I want to make sure we leave some time for testimonials. If you never did the loading dose, would you need to go back and do that? I would say it depends on the person. I actually have heard of one person, I can't remember who it was, who said that they just started with 1 to 2 a day and felt immediate relief and was good with just that. So I would say if they started with that and they were getting results with that, then no, they wouldn't need to necessarily go back and do a loading dose. Listen to your body. But if they tried a bottle at only 1 or 2 capsules a day and got to the end of the month and they're like, it's really not helping, then I would say maybe consider in that second month doing a loading dose. They're still within their 60-day money-back guarantee, and see if that doesn't really make the difference. So I know Josh French, he's a military veteran, and he has a lot of pain associated with some injuries he received in action. And he said that loading dose was just life-changing for him. So, and he has not had to continue. Oh, good to know. Katie Conklin said Heidi Sphere posted a ton about this. Yeah, it's a really amazing product. So again, like many of our products, you're kind of getting a 4-in-1 deal. You're getting those enzymes, you're getting the New Zealand green lip mussel, and you're also getting the turmeric all in one. So if somebody scoffs at the price and says, oh, $30 or $35, like it's right around there, I can't remember the exact price, for a month's supply, be like, yeah, but if you had to go out and buy turmeric and go buy your digestive enzymes and go buy this Eterol, the New Zealand green lip mussel, which you can't even get Eterol because it's patented. But if you could, it really is a great deal getting all 3 of those products in one. So, all right. Let's go ahead and have Wendy, since you're on, would you maybe start? I was going to have Wendy share a little bit about her health testimonial, and then we're going to have Mandy, and then we'll wrap it up with, is she on here yet? Kathy, there you are. I was like looking. Then we'll have Kathy. All right, Wendy, take it away.
Hey everybody, my name is Wendy Thompson. I've been with Plexus for almost 3.5 years now. I started in September of 2014 after watching John and Kathy for about, good 8.5 months of really being interested. I remember John making his first post and kind of asking what it was, and I scoffed at it and laughed kind of at what he was doing. Then within their first month, they did a little drawing and giveaway. I won a 3-day trial. And I did it for 2 days, and I was like, oh, this is making me more hungry. I was just not committed. Anyways, I kept watching them, and my life kept spiraling further and further from what I wanted it to be. I was really struggling personally with really low energy. But besides that, also dealing with deep, dark thoughts on a daily basis, not wanting to do anything, not wanting to spend time with my kids, always being mad or angry with my family. Just at a drop of a hat, I was just getting less and less pleasant to be around. But the biggest thing for me was, having those darker thoughts that were becoming increasingly intense and overwhelming. And I did not, want to live like that. And putting my kids in front of the TV for hours on end so I could sleep, on top of sleeping 10 hours a night during the day, that just wasn't working for me. And Kathy, we have kids that are similar ages. She has 5, but my 4 and 4 of hers are pretty much the same ages. We were pregnant together for 4 times, and it was a lot of fun. But, she had just had her last one, and I'd had my last one, and she was thriving and I was struggling. And that postpartum, was just really rough on me, not getting any better. So I decided to just finally follow her advice and realized that I couldn't do it on my own with just diet and exercise. I didn't even have energy for that anyways. I started eating worse and worse. So I started Plexus. I got a big welcome pack, and back then there still was, the Ease was actually called the Fast Relief. And so I got the big pack I had the Fast Relief cream. So the Ease cream, the Ease capsules, the name is the only thing that changed. And then it had the Slim and Accelerator, P96, some other stuff. So I decided to start slow, listen to Kathy's, instructions, and started with just the Slim. And about 5 days in, I felt a huge shift in my energy. It was really great. And I knew that this was legit. I, was committed to longer than that, but I started feeling much, much better and feeling more like I wanted to do things again. I didn't want to snap at everybody, which was great for family life. And then I added in the Accelerator next, and within the next, so from starting until 2.5 months in, I'd lost all my baby weight, fitting into clothes from college. And before, it was great. And so I continued on adding in these products. I tried at the time, Fast Release, so the Ease, pretty early on, and I just use it sporadically. I'm in love with the cream. It's so useful in various forms. Using it from my husband's headaches that he gets a lot, stress headaches on his neck and temples, to my kids, like growing pains, to getting sunburns. All those things really made a big difference for us. I started on the triplex of 2015. That's when I started it. And the products have really made a huge difference. The longer I'm consistent with them, X Factor has been huge for me too. But the longer I'm consistent with them, the more I just feel balanced and good overall. I'm not cured. I don't believe that our bodies cure easily. It takes a lot of work to undo them and to get them to a place where we're desperate, which is where I was. So, patience and consistency. And I definitely believe that these products are needed for continued support, throughout. So that was probably too long and probably too fast, but I'm going to hand it off to Mandy. There you go, girl.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, cool. Hi, my name's Mandy. I'm a silver ambassador under the Conklins. So I'm just going to get right into it. I started Plexus because I thought I was going to drop 50 pounds in 2 weeks, and I was so stoked about that. I was so excited. I can't even tell you. So I got the pink drink, and my husband and I split it. So we each tried it for the 2 weeks. We also had it with the accelerator. We did the slim and the accelerator combo. Big surprise, we didn't lose those 50 pounds in 2 weeks. And I was like, this Plexus stuff does not work. I'm not about it. So I called, I got my money back, which is cool because now I can say that it's really easy to get your money back, and I mean it because I did it. But then my friend, I signed up under Alyssa. She's not super active anymore, but she kept posting on Facebook about how great it was and how great she was feeling. And at that point, I was chronically constipated, and I had been forever, for as long as I could remember, even as a kid. A good week for me was pooping once. It was a really great week if I pooped twice in 1 week. With all of that came a lot of bloating, as you can imagine, to the point where my pants didn't fit. I was asked if I was pregnant and when my baby was due, when I was not pregnant. So that sucked. At the age of 20, my mom, who is an RN, had to come to my apartment and give me an enema on my bathroom floor. And I don't know if you've ever had an enema, and I don't know if you've ever had an enema from your mother, but that sucked a lot. So my friend, Alyssa, she kept posting on Facebook about the triplex and specifically ProBio 5. And my husband's a pharmacist. I was already taking probiotics and, all these other supplements. My cabinet was full of supplements to try to feel better, which obviously I was not. So I told Chad, I got to try this one more time. I've got to get this ProBio 5. So I got it, used it for about 2 months, and I was like, you know what? We've got to do this. We've got to do this for the long haul. So November of 2015, 2015, I joined as an ambassador, was absolutely not going to tell anybody about it because I had already done network marketing and I failed big time, but I wanted the cheapest prices. So I got started on that. And I can very happily say that now I poop on the daily. And that's amazing. Other people that just do that regularly, like without any supplements or tricks, I didn't know what I was missing. Y'all, this is the best feeling in the world. And I cringe to think about the amount of like Miralax and stuff like that I was taking just every day. That's bad. But in addition to being consistent with all of my products, my seasonal allergies went away. I was taking the over-the-counter pills and nose sprays and eye drops like crazy. And even with all of those products, I was still having the watery eyes and the itchy throat and just sneezing like crazy. My Chad just reminded me the other day that I have been pulled over while driving twice because I was sneezing so badly that I was swerving. So that probably wasn't safe. But I don't take any pills, sprays, anything like that anymore. Not last summer because I just had Logan, but before that I taught swim lessons outside and I was perfectly fine. I didn't have any allergies anymore. So that's pretty legit. I was also super addicted to sugar. I would have ice cream twice a day, every day without fail. And that's disgusting to think about. And I'm embarrassed to even say that because I don't know for those of you that don't know me, I'm a group fitness instructor. So Like when I was at my most healthy, because I was running and I was teaching 17 classes a week at the gym, right? I see Kathy's face like, oh my word, I was doing all these things and I was so healthy. But ice cream twice a day. And I would also have Chad bring home candy on his way home from work. That usually consisted of like Red Vines licorice and honey bun and Reese's cups. And I've had those since being on Plexus, and y'all, I don't know if y'all have had that recently, but those are disgusting. They're so nasty. No wonder I was constipated and bloated all the time. So it's really great. I think that's the most unexpected part of Plexus, that I don't have sugar cravings anymore. I do sometimes have dark chocolate, but it's like a little handful of these little dark chocolates from Costco. They're pretty great. But I don't want cookies and candy, and I don't remember the last time we had ice cream. I really don't. And that's crazy to think about, because we used to go through ice cream before I met Chad. And we've been together for about 7 years. I would have an entire pint of Haagen-Dazs in one sitting, and I'd probably do that like 3 times a week. And if you look at the amount of sugar in there, that's disgusting and astounding. My sleep has improved tremendously. I would just lay there at night all night long, not be able to fall asleep. And then once I did, I would be up, sometimes every hour on the hour, just tossing and turning and just being awake and saying, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, but I couldn't do it. Now I sleep super well until Stella, our Doberman, decides that she needs to spoon me and share my pillow. If anybody's looking for a Doberman, I know a great one. I don't really mean that. Logan loves her. But I sleep so much better now. And Stella is the only reason I wake up, because Logan sleeps all night. That's amazing. I've never had an injury, but I used to have really bad joint pain in my knees. So I was taking ibuprofen on the daily. And then Chad helped me get off of that, but they would still hurt, but it was more of a tolerable pain. So I didn't take the ibuprofen every day. And now I don't think we have any ibuprofen in the house, actually. I do take Ease and I love it. I think it was Heidi. Katie said that Heidi talks about a lot. Heidi Spear, you should follow her if you don't already. But she talked a lot about taking Ease daily. So I've been doing that and I feel great. And now knowing everything more that it's doing for me, I feel even better about that. My hair and nails are way stronger than they used to be. I don't know if you can see this, but see those tiny little hairs? See these tiny little ones? They're kind of obnoxious, actually. Those are new hairs, and they're longer now, but they're like, see those? Those aren't pretty, but they're new. I did not take scissors all around. So that's really legit. And if you've been Facebook friends with me for a while, you have seen my pictures of my nails. They're shorter now because of Logan, but they are so thick and so strong and pretty amazing, if I do say so myself. My weight. So before I started Plexus, Chad and I decided that we were ready to start having a baby. So in 1 month, I came off of my birth control and 3 antidepressants. And maybe doing that in 1 month was dumb, but I did it because I was ready to get pregnant. And I gained 40 pounds overnight, which sucked a lot. So enter Plexus, and I stopped all of that gaining. I did not lose that 40 pounds that I had gained, but I at least stopped gaining. And that was huge. And when this is terrible. I asked Chad, what else has Plexus done for me? Because it's hard to think back 2.5-ish years and remember what your life was like before all of these changes happened. And he said, your mood's a little better. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm a peach. And he's like, you are now. So I think that was probably his polite way of saying that I might have been a little snappy back in the day. It's possible. In fact, I've gotten fired from jobs before because of my my face and my tone. So maybe I should go work at those places again. I don't know. So anyways, I was able to get off my antidepressants. Well, I kind of chose to do that, but I don't know if you've ever been on antidepressants, but it's miserable coming off of those, because you're like, yeah, I got to get off these antidepressants, but I feel awful. And I'm having some highs, but my lows are back and they're bad. And I don't really have like an addictive personality, but there were days, y'all, I wanted those pills back. And that's embarrassing to admit. I'm humiliated. But I wanted them back. And I mean, I still have them. I don't know how you're supposed to dispose of these. I think you're supposed to like mix it with cat litter or something. It's on my to-do list. I'm gonna do it for sure before Logan starts crawling around and stuff. But how embarrassing. Like, my husband's a pharmacist, but I'm over here like, man, I wish I could have those antidepressants back, because this sucks. I don't want to feel anything. And that's the thing with antidepressants. You don't feel anything, not even the good things. So Chad very politely reminded me that there was a time that I would come home from teaching my morning classes and flush them down the toilet. I don't think you're supposed to do that. That like pollutes the water and the fish. Wendy, I don't think you're supposed to do that. Anyways, he reminded me that there was a time that I was a robot. And now I can feel and most of the time I'm pretty pleasant. I think Chad would say I'm pretty pleasant most of the time. But the times that I'm not, I would say they're warranted. I'm just kidding. Probably not. But I'm in a much better place, mentally, physically. Plexus has absolutely changed my life. And I hate saying that because it sounds so cliche, but it's true. It's changed my world. And if you have any questions about any of that, feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook. I'm sure I talk too much, so I'm going to pass it over to Kathy and be done. Okay, bye.
Thanks, Mandy. That was awesome. I never heard your story. It was so funny when I was thinking about who to ask to share their testimonial this time. I actually really felt prompted to ask you. And I told him, yeah, I'm going to ask Mandy. And he's like, well, what's her testimonial? I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I ever really heard her story. So thank you. That was amazing. It was really fun to get to hear your story. All right, Kathy, take it away.
Right, there I am. I started Plexus July 15th and July 5th, 2015, sorry. And I had been watching my friend Kathy McNaughton on Facebook, showing the pink drink, of course. And I, like Mandy, thought, I want some of this because I want to lose 20 pounds in a month because everybody else has done it. You know, they've gone off their bad stuff. They've gone off their soda drinks. And I don't really drink a lot of soda. I enjoy it once in a while, but I'm not craving it anything. I was craving candy a lot. But the more I watched Kathy and put her off for 4 months, not yet, almost, I'm thinking about it, oh, maybe not. So I stretched it out for 4 months before I would actually commit to it. And when I did, it was half price for my membership, so of course I jumped right onto that one. And when I did, my thoughts of losing the weight was still there, but my main thought was for my gut health, because for 40 some years I've dealt with pretty chronic diarrhea. No matter what, I could go out and eat, and I would have to, if I took one bite, my gut would start to hurt, and I'd have to come home immediately, and I mean fast. Sometimes I almost didn't make it up through the sidewalk and up through the stairs, but I did. But it was like that all the time, and it was starting to really affect my life, my quality of life. It was affecting my job because it was starting to get to where it was like every single month I'd be out of work maybe a couple of days. So I could tell by my lower back pain, then I'd get cold, and I'd start to feel lethargic, and then my stomach would just start the gushing sounds like waterfalls in my lower gut. And I knew I have to get home. I've got about maybe 20 minutes to get home. So, and sometimes it would hit maybe just before I would leave for work, and there was no way I could even do that. So I would have to call in and say, I'm really, really, really sorry, but this gut issue has hit me, and I cannot leave the house. And I might have been in the bathroom maybe hours off and on through that whole time. And I would go to the Imodium AD, supposed to stop diarrhea, take one tablet after each bowel movement. And I would do that to begin with, but one never touched it. So I would start with 3. And then the second time I would start with 3 more. And then it was up to like 9, maybe within an hour of that, just to slow it down. And finally it would stop. And then I'm dehydrated and I'm lethargic and I'm freezing, and I would just have to go to bed and sleep it away for several hours. So that's kind of where it was headed to. And then when Kathy kept talking about, the gut health and the chronic diarrhea and everything, and I thought back of my poor mama. She actually died of gut health and gut issues almost 18 years ago. And I know in my heart this would have helped her so much if we'd had this then. But yeah, that's just kind of, and I started with that, and I did the Slim, and I felt energy and I felt good maybe the first couple of days that I would take my Slim. And I was really excited about that. I took the pink drink for like 5 days, and then started in with the ProBio 5 for 3 or 4 days, and then started in with the Bio Cleanse. And, I really don't know how long I went before I realized that I wasn't having any gut issues anymore. It just stopped. Now, if I slow down on them for maybe reasons of running out, instead of thinking, oh, I need to order another bottle, I would just cut back on my ProBio 5, and my gut issues will start up again. And that's something I just can't afford my life right now to do that. I don't want to go down the same road. My mom died when she was 65 years old, and that's how old I am right now. So to think that my poor mama went through that for 20 some years, and I have this great tool that I can help other people with. So that's been my main goal for myself. Of course, I've been chronic, I have asthma, and I also have allergies, but I don't have allergies anymore. I have not taken allergy pills since 2015. I haven't taken them. And I don't have asthma attacks anymore either. So that's basically my full story. Did I lose my 20 pounds in that month? No, I did not. I lost about 10 or 12 inches in a couple of months. So, that's still fine with me. And I am not gaining anything, but I am really gaining a lot of respect for these products. I'm gaining a lot of respect for myself and the knowledge to help other people. And I have helped some people in the long run here, and they're just like, I don't know what I would have done. And I have people thanking me all the time. Thank you for turning me on to Plexus, and thank you for telling me about Plexus. And that's just, I will be with Plexus forever, even if I can only buy ProBio 5. That's what I'll do. So that's my story.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for doing that. I know she doesn't know how, man. I got really emotional. That was really tender. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that with us. And thank you, Wendy. I always love your story. I think so many people have no idea how much mood is tied to gut health. It's just such an emerging area of science, and there are so many people struggling with that in today's world, just severe mood issues. And so really appreciate you sharing that. I think people need to be reminded, especially if that's not part. I love to hear other people's testimonials, because that way there are aspects of those that don't apply to my story at all. But it helps me remember that there are people out there who need these products for reasons different than mine, who need them for chronic diarrhea. I didn't even know that was a thing till I met you, Kathy. I'd never heard of that before. Probably because people who have that issue don't want to talk about it and share with people, I had no idea. I didn't know, Mandy, that you had all those allergies and everything too. And we're working outside, and the inflammation in your knees. Obviously, mood was not as big of an issue for me as Wendy. And so I love hearing the different aspects. So thank you guys for being on and taking the time to share. Does anybody have any quick questions before we go? We'll pop off here. Just a quick reminder, we got book club tomorrow night. We're almost done with How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's at 8:30. We have a opportunity meeting in CUNA on Thursday evening, if anybody can make it to that. And then the following Saturday, the 17th, and then the following Tuesday, the 27th, or I guess that's a week and a half later, Tuesday, the 27th. So we've got lots of opportunities coming up. I would really encourage you to look at your calendar and see which one of those 3 you can fit in there and try to get to one of them. And yeah. Nobody has any questions? We'll let you go, but look forward to, anybody have a request for the product for next week? Should I do Nerve, or does somebody want me to do something different? Nerve, you like Nerve, Kathy?
Do Nerve. I don't know anything about it.
Okay, I will do Nerve then. That's one I don't know as much about either, so I'm excited to learn a little bit more. I'll be in my little nerdy researching mode. Oh, and I was going to mention, if you, I do have this call recorded, but if you're trying to remember back information about ease, you can listen back to this recording. But also, there were several good YouTube videos that I found when I just looked for Plexus Ease product information. And one of them specifically by Diamond Care, I don't know if it's Kara or Kara, K-A-R-A, Knox, K-N-O-X. That would be a really good one to refer back to. I was super impressed with the, especially if you were going to share a video, so professionally done and really powerful. And she went into a lot of this information I actually got from her YouTube video. So anyway, all right, have a good night.